Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is the Iconic Class 321 back at it again with another deck profile. Today I'm coming back with my three deck structure deck challenge. This time, this is the Fire King structure deck that has recently come out. This deck focuses mainly on destroying stuff in your hand and on your field, recouping the loss, and overall just overpowering your opponent with a lot of different plays. So without further ado, let's get right into the deck profile. So first up on our list, we are playing 3 copies of Legendary Fire King Ponix. Now, he's our starter of the deck, and don't let his size fool you. This little chicken nugget has a lot of power to his punch. He has an effect that if your fire monster is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon him from your hand. And if this card is normal or special summon, you can add 1 Fire King spell or trap from your deck. He also has a recursion effect that next standby phase, if this card was destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can actually add it directly back to your hand. So it's recursion, it adds you spells and traps, off normal or special summon, and he has a free special summon for himself once you destroy something. So overall, good card advantage. Next up, we go into 3 copies of our Fire King High Avatar Kieran. He says, during the main phase, if this card is in your hand, you can, quick effect, destroy 1 other fire monster in your hand or face up on the field, and if you do, special summon him. If this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 Fire King monster from your hand or graveyard. Then you can destroy 1 card on the field. So he destroys 2 cards, he gets you some recursion for Fire Kings, and overall is just an easy special summon as well. Next up, we have 2 copies of Fire King Avatar Rangbali. Very nice artwork on this card, and he says if a face-up Fire King monster you control is destroyed by card effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. And he also has an effect to when a spell or trap or effect is activated while this card is on the field, you can negate it, and if you do, destroy 1 other fire monster in your hand or on the field. So again, it's destruction for Fire Kings, and he also has a negate on him, which is always fantastic. Coming back to the 3 ofs, we have 3 copies of Sacred Fire King Garunix. And he says, if your monsters that was originally fire is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon this card from your graveyard. If it is normal or special summon, you can destroy 1 fire beast, beast warrior, or winged beast monster in your hand, deck, or face up on the field. And if you do, this card gains attack equal to half that destroyed monster's attack, if it had there, until the end of this turn. So he can destroy cards from your hand, field, or even your deck, which is very versatile, especially in Fire Kings. Next up, we have 3 copies of Fire King Avatar Artvada. Some people play it as a 2, but I like the consistency of 3. It plays a little better in the deck. He's a Beast Warrior, level 4, which says when a monster effect is activated on the field while this monster is there, you can negate the activation. If you do, destroy 1 other fire monster in your hand or face up. It also has the effect that if it's destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 fire beast, beast warrior, or winged beast monster in your graveyard except this one. Special summon it, but its effects are negated and destroy it during the end phase. So he recoups your losses, he's a free negate, and obviously he destroys stuff in your hand or on the field, which benefits the deck tremendously. Coming into 1 of, we have Fire King High Avatar Garunix, and we have Barong. Barong is really cool because if a face-up Fire King monster you control is destroyed by card effect, you can special summon this card from your hand, and once per turn during your standby phase, after this card is destroyed by card effect, you can add 1 Fire King card from your deck to your hand. That's spell, trap, or monster, so it's very versatile, and you get a lot of boost off of that. Meanwhile, with Fire King High Avatar Garunix, once returned during your next standby phase after this was destroyed, you can special summon this card directly from the graveyard, and if you do, destroy all other monsters on the field. And when this card is destroyed by battle or sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 Fire King monster directly from your deck. So he can special summon anything from the deck, he has a good destruction effect, and that recursion is very nice in total. So finish up our monster lineup, we have 3 copies of Droll and Lockbird. If you guys have played the meta lately, you know how powerful this card is. To simply put, it's activated once your opponent adds something from their deck to their hand, and once you play this, they can no longer add anything else from their deck to their hand for the rest of the turn. So obviously this is really good in the fact that it stops your opponent from adding more resources from their deck to their hand. So starting off with our spell line, trap lineup, we're going ahead with going 3 copies of Fire Formation Tenki. And this card has the effect of when it's activated, you can add 1 level 4 or lower Beast Warrior monster from your deck to your hand. And all those monsters also gain 100 attack. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but you guys gotta think about it. You do play several warrior or beast warriors in your deck, so technically this is a good boost and also can add anything from them. Since you're playing 3 of them and you can activate each one, that means you're getting 3 searches off these cards max. Going into another 3 of, we have our Fire King Island. This is going to be our main field spell of the deck, obviously, and if you guys played Fire Kings 10 years ago when they came out, you know how powerful this card is. If this face-up card in the field zone is sent to the graveyard or banished, you can destroy all monsters you control, which is good because Fire King get their effect off that, and it also has the effect that you can use one of these following effects. First one is during your main phase, you can destroy 1 monster in your hand or field, and if you do, add a Fire King from your deck to your hand. And if you have control no monsters, you can special summon 1 Fire Winged Beast monster from your hand. Obviously, we do have several of those in the deck, including but not limited to Sacred Fire King Garunix, our legendary Fire King Ponix, and also our very own Avatar Garunix. So that's about 3 targets, so you have multiple targets to use for this card. Coming in another 3 up, we have Fire King Sanctuary. Now, if this card is activated, you can actually activate Fire King Island directly from your deck into the face-up field zone. And once per turn, if the card in your field zone would be destroyed by card effect, you can destroy 1 fire monster in your hand or face-up field instead. Also, it has the effect, if your opponent special summons a monster during their turn, you can actually Xyz once summon 1 fire Xyz monster while it's their turn. And you guys will understand why that's such a big effect when we get into the extra deck. Right here, we're playing 3 copies of Dark Hole. This destroys every monster on the field once it's played. So obviously, it's not only going to get rid of all your opponent's big monsters to get rid of, it's also going to destroy all of yours, which will activate all of your Fire King's effects off rip. Finally, we're playing 2 copies of Fire King Skyburn and 1 copy of Circle of the Fire Kings. So we'll start off with Circle first. You can target 1 fire monster you control and 1 fire monster in your graveyard. Destroy that monster, and if you do, special summon the other one from your graveyard. So this actually lets you guys get a lot of recursion from it. It also has its effects go off when it's destroyed. So obviously it's good for this deck. And with Skyburn, you can target the equal number of Fire King monsters you control and cards your opponent controls, destroy them. And a Fire King card you control will be destroyed by card effect. You can banish this card from your graveyard instead. So obviously it banishes itself, saves your monster, destroys your opponent's monsters, basically for free. Finishing out the deck, we have 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence and 3 copies of Torrential Tribute. Now you guys know Torrential Tribute destroys all monsters once a monster is summoned to the field, and obviously Infinite Impermanence has the ability to negate a monster's effect, and if it's played on the field, it can also negate any card that's played in the same column as it. So overall, that is my 40 card lineup for the main deck, and now we're going to get into the extra deck. So coming in first, we have our only link monster of the deck. We have 3 copies of Hayate the Fire Charmer Ablaze. This can be summoned with 2 monsters, including a fire monster. You guys know what the deal is with this one. It's link summoned and destroyed by battle. You can actually target 1 fire monster with 1500 defense from your deck to your hand to add it to, or you can actually special summon it from your opponent's graveyard. So overall, if you were playing the mirror match, maybe you're playing Silent Greats, maybe you're playing any kind of other fire-based deck, it's very good in the matchup. 3 copies of our friend Diamond Direwolf here. Takes 2 level 4 monsters, so he is generic. And he's the effect, you can detach a material from this card, target 1 beast, beast warrior, or winged beast monster you control, and 1 other card on the field. Destroy them. Again, this pops off our effects from our Fire Kings, so it's an easy win for us. Coming in next, we have 3 copies of Coach King Giant Trainer. He takes 3 level 8 monsters to summon. However, his multiple materials are worth it because you can detach a material from this card, draw 1 card, and reveal it to your opponent. Then if it was a monster, you inflict 800 damage to them. You can't conduct your battle phase the turn you activate this card, but hopefully if you're able to activate this, you can burn them for some good damage. And lastly, we can't forget the big boy of the deck. We have 3 copies of Garunix Eternity Hyang of the Fire Kings. This is the monster you're going to summon with your spell card earlier during your opponent's turn. And it has the simple effect, once this card is summoned, you destroy all other monsters on the field. You can also detach 1 material from this card, target 1 spell or trap on the field, destroy it, and then it gains 500 attack. And this card is destroyed while it has materials. You can special summon Fire Kings from your graveyard up to the number of materials it had once it was destroyed. So again, it's a board wipe. You can pop a card on your opponent's back row, have this card gain 500, and if it somehow gets popped afterwards, you still can recur all of your Fire Kings you used to summon it. So overall, I think this makes it a great deck profile. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys love the deck profile, or what would you add to it or take from it? Let me know in the comments. If you did enjoy this video, I'm going to need you to fire that like button and possibly even hit the subscribe button. This has been the Iconoclast 321. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.